stunning looks than swift.
It's our first battle of the subcontinents, and it takes place here on match day 3 of the 2023 World Cup. It's a game with subplots aplenty and much more than just bragging rights at stake. An opportunity for one of Bangladesh or Afghanistan to put a proper stake in the ground at a World Cup where really one of them would want to win and want to be able to get some points on the board. This is Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricinfo Match Day. I'm joined by Wasim Jaffer and Dale Steyn here in the studio to discuss this fixture. And gentlemen, we normally talk about spin being a factor, and particularly with two subcontinental sides. But here we've got a game taking place in Dharamshala where we've seen the seamers do particularly well. Do you think that's going to change the complexity and the nuance of this game, Wasim?
Not really. I mean, Dharamshala, we know it's in the hills, but it's the time of the year in October, which is not going to be really cold. It's a small ground, really good batting deck, and both teams actually, they play spin as their trump thing. But Bangladesh have got decent seamers, and then Afghanistan as well. They've got Naminul Haq back. They've got Fazal Farooqi, so they've got decent seamers as well. So I'm expecting a good battle. It's going to be interesting how Afghanistan actually bats. That's their weaker point. But saying that, if one of the batters turns up, Rahmanullah Gurbaz, Ibrahim Zadran and those boys, it's going to be an interesting game.
Yeah, and particularly important for how Afghanistan bats in the first 10 overs, because we've got some numbers here on Bangladesh's seamers in that period. So in the power play, they are the best bowling team in terms of average since 2022. They average 23.7, which is pretty good. And it's not Mustafizur Rahman who's the one who's taken all the plaudits. It's in fact Taksin Ahmed, who averages 16.9 in that period. Dale, you were talking about these two to us a little bit earlier. How do you see them doing against the Afghan openers? Are those the two biggest threats?
Yeah, I'd say those are the two biggest threats. Taksin Ahmed's been bowling beautifully, hasn't he, of late? And even though the fizz probably hasn't been where he wants to be, he's a match winner. And he's somebody that is relied on all around the world. His services are at many leagues and IPLs and all that kind of thing. So those are the two guys that Bangladesh are really going to look to at making inroads for them. The thing about both these teams is that even though they've got some good seamers, their DNA is spin. So they will turn to spin. They like to let the game run at the pace that they want it to, which is pretty quick. They put you under pressure, especially the foreign teams when they play against each other. So I'm excited to see how this game plays out, because it's going to be that kind of DNA versus DNA, spin versus spin.
Exactly, yeah.
But they will also have to adapt to the conditions, which good teams do.
And I guess also maybe a little bit of superstar versus superstar, and Rashid Khan and Shakib Al-Hassan. Are you looking forward to seeing that play out?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I kind of got asked this the other day as to who I thought would be the standout. I thought that, and I still think that Shakib is probably, for me, just the more experienced campaigner when it comes to World Cups and international cricket. Rashid Khan, obviously a wonderful player when it comes to league cricket. He's done beautifully all around the world, but can he carry Afghanistan by himself? That's the big question. Can he do that? Shakib is fantastic. He's able to rally his troops and get the best out of players around him, as well as being an all-time super professional at the international level. So I'm kind of tipping Shakib as the guy that can that would take it over the two. But Rashid Khan, what a fantastic player when it comes to his bowling, and then with his batting. If you miss it in his area, he can hit a long ball too. So an all-round fantastic game.
Yeah, and Rashid Khan, and the way you speak about him there really almost sums up Afghanistan, in that he's done really well in leagues. Afghanistan have done really well in tournaments outside of World Cups, but their World Cup record it's pretty poor. They lost 9 out of 9 at the last tournament. They've only won one match in their World Cup history. What do they need to do to really start taking the statements they made to get to ODI status and World Cups, and then translate that into results at the big tournaments?
Well, I think they lack the batting depth, I would say. They rely very heavily on Rahmanullah Gurbaz lately and Ibrahim Zadran, and then obviously the but the lower middle order. They do most of the job, but the number 3, number 4, 5, they kind of, hasn't put their hands up. And their death bowling also struggles. They rely so heavily on their spin. Mujib bowls in the power play, and then obviously Rashid and Nabi, they do most of the work. But as soon as you go into the last 10, they kind of struggle. So they need to address those issues. They had some selection issues as well. We've heard that time and again. But they've got the ability, they've got the potential. They just need to turn up, and they should do so in 50 over. We know they're such a strong T20 team, but in the 50 over format, they need to turn up.
Yeah, so a couple of issues facing both those teams. We're expecting a pretty tight game. You guys have got just one word to answer the next question. Who you're tipping to take it?
Bangladesh, I would say. They've got well-rounded side, and they've got pace and spin, and they've got decent batting as well, a lot of experience. So I'm banking a little bit on Bangladesh.
That's a lot more than one word, though. Dale?
Am I only allowed one word? Bangladesh.
Oh, it's unanimous here on the expert panel. Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricinfo Match Day. The experts say Bangladesh are going to win this contest against Afghanistan. We'll join you from Dharamshala to see.
Stunning looks, then swift,